with the switch. He hunts Kennard on the switch. Mitchell got it off glass. He has been spellbinding tonight.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ro. I'm here in Studio B, here to engage, enlighten, and entertain with the Big Petty, Brendan Haywood, NBA champion, the Hall of Famer, two-time champion Isiah Thomas, and we've just witnessed the Jazz go up 2-0 against the Clippers on their own home floor, setting an tying a franchise record with 20 made three-pointers. It was an amazing performance again by Donovan Mitchell. Just seeing what happened in this game. Let's just focus on Donovan Mitchell, and we're going to keep you posted on everything that's going on. We saw him turn his ankle late in the game. He had that right ankle injury towards the end of the season that caused him to miss a number of games. But just looking at how the Jazz got this victory, B. Wood, what did you see and what did you like?
Well, I just saw the Jazz. They first of all, they came out, they were riding Donovan Mitchell. He was red hot. Then they took a big time punch from the Clippers, but then they were able to have their own surge and come right back. So I like the confidence of this Utah team. I like the fact that, hey, some teams when they get hit in the mouth, they don't respond. In Utah, they had things on cruise control. Things were looking good for them, and then LA got back into this game, and guess what? Utah said, we still got that fight. We still got that dog. There's plenty of scores on this team, not just Donovan Mitchell, and I love the resiliency of this squad.
Resilient as well. And Zeke, you spoke on it earlier. You've been very impressed with how Donovan Mitchell's been playing. I asked you, do you think he could sustain this level of play, outside of injury? He's done that so far. Again, as I mentioned, 37 points tonight. Again, performing at a superstar level for number 45.
I mean, absolutely, he can sustain it. I mean, he's been this way since high school, in college at Louisville. I mean, he's a great one-on-one player. One of the best one-on-one players that's ever come into our league. And now, when you're playing defense the way you're playing, where the offensive player really gets to hunt the defensive player that he wants to guard him. I mean, Mitchell is again just an exceptional one-on-one player, and he's proven it again tonight, and I think he'll continue to prove it throughout this series.
Yes, 13th playoff game scoring 30 or more, his 6th career playoff game scoring 35 or more, so no doubt in rare air right now. But we know this Jazz team likes to shoot the three. 6 straight games of making at least 17 three-pointers. The last 3 games, they've made 19. In this one, they tie a playoff franchise record with 20. Just speak about their ability to knock down the three and do it at such a high clip consistency.
Well, that's been their calling card all year long, is that they want to get on the perimeter, they want to spread you out, and then they want to drive the ball to the paint. And then once their feet touch the paint, they spray it around the perimeter for really good three-point shots. And they have a lot of guys that can shoot the three, whether we're talking about Jordan Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell, Royce O'Neal, Bogdanovich, Joe Ingles. There's so many different guys that can shoot the three ball that once they get into the pick and roll and Rudy sets that screen and it causes a problem and then they get downhill, it becomes a really tough way to guard these guys because now you're in rotations. Or you can do what the Clippers do. You can switch 1 through 5. And when you start making those switches, they say, okay, now we attack the mismatch, and they still get downhill because Donovan Mitchell, to Zeke's point, is just picking out who he wants to guard. And like, let me see, I'll get you, and then I'll take you downhill, and then he'll just attack the basket.
Speaking of attack the basket, we talked about Donovan Mitchell. And another thing, Zeke, I asked you in the pregame, we were discussing the defense of the Clippers, those perimeter defenders. We know that they have the accolades, all defensive performers when you talk about Paul George, when you talk about Kawhi Leonard. However, they still allowed Donovan Mitchell to go over 35. What was your assessment of the Clippers and their defensive scheme tonight?
I mean, again, Mitchell is an exceptional offensive player. And they're also missing Conley right now. So you have, with Utah, you have 2 guys that can break you down defensively and get to the paint. And when they get to the paint, then they got 3-point shooters out on the perimeter, but they're not reluctant to take mid-range shots, and they're not reluctant to take layups. So consequently, it puts your defense at a tremendous disadvantage. So when the Clippers downsize and they have no rim protection, that just leaves Mitchell and to really drive to the basket and score around the basket. And then when Rudy comes back in, he's so big and dominant around the basket that he can get tap-ins and second shots. And Ingles is probably the most confident player that you ever want to see in a basketball player, because he believes in his game. He's a big shot taker and a big shot maker. And most people go to sleep on Joe, but don't sleep on Ingles, because he's one of the best offensive players from the three-point line, and his confidence is never wavering.
Yeah. We know that he definitely has that confidence. Knocked down 4 threes. Paul Pierce, and I don't think that he's on live right now. This is just a tweet that he posted.
I hope he's not on live.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea. That didn't end well.
Can't show that.
Nah, you can't. Not on this network. Shaq lit a fire under Spider Mitchell. I can see he's referencing when earlier in the season inside the NBA had Spider Mitchell on in a post-game interview, and, Shaq said, you haven't done anything. And I'm just paraphrasing. But, Donovan just said, okay. And pretty much he's answered the challenge, and Shaq, I FaceTimed you to tell you again you were wrong about Donovan Mitchell. Answer your phone when I call you. But your assessment, seeing Paul Pierce's tweet, B. Wood.
Well, Donovan Mitchell, even before that, had proved that he was an up-and-coming superstar in this league. Like, this guy's playoff scoring average is 28 points per game. So I'm not sure how much more the big fella wanted Donovan Mitchell to do. But last year they lost to the Denver Nuggets in a series where Bogdanovich didn't play. And Bogdanovich was averaging, I want to say 18 or 19 points per game last season. So him not being able to go into the bubble, that's part of the main reason that they lost that series, not Donovan Mitchell. We saw Donovan Mitchell as a young pup in this league come in there and beat Russ, Paul George, and Carmelo in Oklahoma. So he's had big-time playoffs moments before, and he has stepped up big. This isn't anything new to him. This is a guy that is very confident. His game continues to improve. And what I like to see is that now he's being a little bit more efficient with it. And that's what it comes down to, the efficiency, being able to make plays, and then can you do something else when you're not scoring the basketball? And he's gotten a lot better at passing the ball this season.
He has 6 for 12 tonight from 3, 15 for 29. Zeke, do you have any comments on the tweet of Paul Pierce addressing Shaq and Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, I think, you always want the approval of your peers and also the alumni, because truly, those are the judges. The fans and everyone else have their opinions, but the alumni, those are the real judges, because they know what the real is. And Mitchell right now, and I thought he and Jamal Murray last year in the bubble, those two stepped up and let it be known that, hey, they were here, they were serious players, and they wanted to be acknowledged. And although Murray is hurt this year, I think Mitchell, what he's doing in the playoffs is just, putting everyone on notice that, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm real, and it's time for you to acknowledge my realness.
Indeed. Love the way the NBA is going. It's in good hands. You think about Ja Morant, you think about Tatum, you think about Luka, Trae Young, Booker, Spider Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. Man, hey, NBA got some good young stars. Hey, listen, guys like LeBron are getting up there in age, Chris Paul, even Kevin Durant, as great as he is, he's, 32? So, we have some of our great players in this league. Steph Curry, they're in their early to mid-30s. And what we're going to see in the next 3 to 4 years is we're going to see a shift. As those older guys start to phase out, we're going to see those young guys that you just named step up and really take control of the league.
Yeah, they're going to take the torch and they're going to burn people with it. So
yes.
Can't wait to see that. Love this game. But in the meantime, we're going to go to Ty Lue, the head coach of the Clippers. He is at the podium.